The movie begins with a giant explosion that destroys 70% of the moon, giving it its permanent crescent moon fixture. Back on Earth, the Japanese's military attempts to launch an attack on a mysterious creature. But unfortunately, all of the soldiers are wiped out by an octopus lookalike monster. The monster itself is suspected to be the culprit behind the destruction of the moon and plans to destroy Earth as well. At Kunigigioka Junior High, one of prestigious private schools in Tokyo, students, especially who are currently in their third years, are required to excel in all the fields of their education or they will get transferred to a remedial class called Class 3E. Students at Class 3E will study at a separate building, which is located about 1 kilometer away from the main school building. Surprisingly, the same monster with a yellow rounded face who is responsible for the moon destruction and plans to do the same to Earth by March next year is going to be the teacher for the Class 3E students. Tatomi Kurosama, representative from the Ministry of Defense, explains that the monster's speed is unmatched and urges the students from the class to kill the weird creature before next year. The creature also adds that he has made an agreement with the government to teach at Class 3E in order to delay his plan to destroy the Earth. In order to kill him, the students have to use specially made bullets and weapons from the Ministry of Defense which are harmless to humans, but deadly to the yellow creature. Before he leaves, Kurosama mentions that the reward for a successful assassination will be 10 billion yen, which made all students encouraged. In order to assist the students, Arina, a highly skilled assassin, is also hired to kill the creature, but she fails. Since then, Arina also does a part-time job to become their English teacher. After that, the class is officially named Assassination Classroom. Nagisa is the main protagonist of the movie. Despite his passive and shy personality, he is a very observant person. He tends to pay strict attention to his new teacher in order to understand his motives and compiles all the information in his notes for reference. The first attempt of killing happens when the yellow creature is teaching at the class. Equipped with knife and bombs installed on Nagisa, he approaches his teacher to submit his assignment and suddenly his friend detonates the bombs, almost killing Nagisa himself. But unfortunately, the plan fails as the teacher manages to dodge the explosion. Not only that, the failed attempt also makes the teacher angry as it almost kills one of his students. He threatens to kill all the students' relatives if they redo such silly things again. Since the creature seems to be unkillable and he is also a teacher, the class decides to name him Koro-sensei. Despite being full aware that he is the main target of the assassination, Koro-sensei is able to bond with Class 3, who in turn regard him as their indispensable teacher. Throughout the school term, Karma Akabane, who previously was a student from A class and has recently come out of his suspension due to protecting former Class 3E student from being bullied, joins the class. He is a very smart student as he manages to trick Koro-sensei when he meets him for the first time. Despite his academic excellence, Karma seems to be arrogant and overconfident. Koro-sensei then tries to fix his bad attitude in several ways. After school, Karma and Nagisa are approached by Koro-sensei. Karma asks whether the teacher would risk his life to protect one of his students and challenge him to do so. But it is actually his plan to put Koro-sensei at his weak spot and then try to kill him. Karma suddenly jumps off the hill while pointing his gun to the teacher. But somehow, Koro-sensei manages to rescue his student, thanks to his very elastic unlimited tentacles. Even though his plan fails, Karma doesn't give up and tells the creature that he will kill him someday. Because Kurosama's strategy shows no progress, his supervisor decides to deploy a transfer student to the Class 3E in order to kill the creature. It's an AI installed in a box, called Ritsu. Ritsu was programmed to only aim at Koro-sensei and is equipped with a lot of advanced military weapons, but the teacher manages to dodge all the bullets. The arrival of Ritsu makes students uncomfortable because it keeps firing while class is being conducted. The students even have to pick up the bullets later. Because of that, the students decide to lock her with duct tape and chain. One day, Koro-sensei approaches Ritsu and gives it some advice, which is to encourage it to collaborate with other students. Koro-sensei then gives Ritsu some data for the AI to learn. The next day, Ritsu can now express some expressions. She also creates a phone application in order to deepen her friendship with the students. When the class is about to start, out of nowhere a strange kid named Etona breaks into the classroom. He claims himself to be stronger than Koro-sensei and challenges him to duel after class. It turns out that Etona also has tentacles as his main weapon. Seeing the tentacles, Koro-sensei becomes very angry, as he asks Etona where did the tentacles come from. But, Etona ignores Koro-sensei and continues to attack. He almost kills Koro-sensei and gets Koro-sensei cornered, but Koro-sensei manages to beat the kid with the same weapon the students use and throw him out of the class. Itona then is carried away from the school by his white-cloaked guardian after losing the match. After school, Koro-sensei is asked by his students about his real intention to teach the class. He replies that he does that to fulfill a promise he made to someone. To get closer to his students, Koro-sensei conducts assassination training camp where he uses his Mach speed to teach each student separately with targeted revisions for their worst subjects. One night, Koro-sensei sneaks into the girls' room and is forced by the female students to share his love life stories, but he then avoids the question and runs away. A few moments later, Kurasuma's role is replaced by Takaoka, an experienced drill inspector focused on PE, because he is not making progress at all in the assassination mission. At first, Takaoka seems to be very cheerful and put a lot of attention towards his students. But Arina manages to dig deeper into Takaoka's background and figures out that he is a very violent person. The real Takaoka is displayed when he does physical abuse to one of his students. Kurasuma manages to prevent him from doing something worse to the students. Instead, Takaoka challenges one of the students to duel. Kurasuma sees the assassination talent within Nagisa and asks him to battle with the rude instructor. With calmness and an unpredictable move, he manages to bring Takaoka down. Because Nagisa wins, the instructor has to leave the school with shame. The next day, one of the students, Okuda, gives Koro-sensei a poison, which turns out later to be sodium hydroxide, and asks him to drink it. Instead of killing him, the poison just boosts Koro-sensei's power because it stimulates his cells. Koro-sensei then continues his lesson, but suddenly the students ask him why they need to study if they can get 10 billion yen by killing him. After that, Koro-sensei gathers all his students, including Arina and Kurasuma, at the field to motivate them. He explains that a confident assassin will always have a backup plan they can rely on. This backup means the lesson that the students learn for the future they will have, if they're not the one that kills Koro-sensei. Koro-sensei also shows off his ability to steal military stuff, telling the students that they have to excel in everything in order to be magnificent assassins and kill him. Final exam is coming soon, and to motivate his students to gain excellent marks, Koro-sensei promises that the top students of 5 academic subjects will be awarded a chance to cut off his tentacles, which will greatly slow him down, meaning that the possibility of assassinating him increases. Since then, with his Mach speed ability, Koro-sensei gives his students a first-hand experience of learning by bringing them to places where they can learn certain subjects directly. The result of the final exam is announced. Nakamura, Okuda, and Karma managed to get the highest marks for English, science, and mathematics. Also, there are 3 more students who managed to excel in home economics. Thus, the 6 students will have the opportunity to destroy Koro-sensei's tentacles. One of the students suggests to plan the assassination during the summer holiday, and the class agrees. The students are doing some preparations to ensure that the assassination will be successful with the right strategy. The execution day has come. Eventually, they manage to bind Koro-sensei and begin the attack. Thanks to Nagisa's observation, the class manages to discover one of Koro-sensei's weaknesses, which is water, and transform the arena into a water park. For the final blow, 2 students launch their final shots, resulting in Koro-sensei suddenly exploding. However, Koro-sensei transforms into a ball, which is his absolute form, to avoid being killed. Suddenly, Takaoka and his fellows confront Class 3E, claiming to be the culprit who poisoned several students. Takaoka offers to trade the antidotes for Koro-sensei. Nagisa and Karma team up to protect Koro-sensei from Itona, who is now working for Takaoka, while the other students try to find the cure for the poisoned students. Nagisa and Karma are no match to Itona's power as they struggle to beat him. But suddenly, as planned, a heavy rain occurs which weakens Itona's tentacle power. In the end of the battle, Nagisa manages to cut off the tentacles from Itona. Unfortunately, they are informed by Ritsu that Takaoka has kidnapped one of the students and threatens to kill her. Thanks to Nagisa's intelligence, they manage to trick Takaoka with a fake ball, and the students manage to turn over the table, punishing Takaoka and his fellows with their own weapons. At the end of the film, Koro-sensei is brought to the military facility. Seeing that Koro-sensei is vulnerable, the government proceeds to do a public execution in front of his grieving students. Before execution, Koro-sensei says his final words, telling that his students have shown very good progress during the semester. However, it's not that easy to kill Koro-sensei. He manages to survive the execution and is allowed to continue teaching Class 3E for the 2nd term, making Class 3E the assassination classroom again, with Itona now enrolling permanently. Subscribe to watch more videos like this.